till I hit the top. It's the only place to be. Prepare for the day, I'm coming your way. You haven't seen the last of me.
What's going on, fuckers? Welcome back to the Let It Rip podcast, episode 3. Oh, fucking hell, this is a right mess. Welcome back to the Let It Rip podcast, episode 3. I am slowly but surely going to make sure this shit is sorted out for yous lot. Let's talk about shit, boys. Let's talk about shit. So this one is open to everybody that joins the Discord channel that is currently open on VL at the moment. It's called Let It Rip podcast, episode 3. Fucking anyone can join it, boys. I don't give a fuck. Let's talk about shit. Let's talk about shit. There's just been a bunch of games that I was meant to cast, but I was drunk and watching United, so didn't. But we'll see if anyone wants to come on and talk about that shit. If not, I'm just going to waffle on about fucking random shit, and yous can be there to enjoy it. How about that shit? Let's get my fucking beautiful face on there right now. What we saying, boys? There we go. There we go. My hair's a mess. Do I give a fuck? Do I give a fuck, boys? Has anyone ever given less of a fuck than Drigger? Yes, he gets fucking irate about fucking everything. But no more, my friends, no more. You see, I've had the revelation today. I've had the revelation procs in a chat with the PogChamp. Let's go, boys. And I tell you, right? I was watching Summit with Kevin Hart and Joe Rogan on the podcast. I might have already talked about this on the last podcast, to be fair. And it was about, it was about your perspective and the way that you thought about what happiness actually was, right? This is going to sound weird, it's going to sound a little bit deep, but it is, but it also ain't at the same time, right? What this is about is, right, everyone, you can split your life into 3 different sections. You've got the norm, what your life just normally is, right? Is it sat on a bed, drinking Amstel on Twitch with a bunch of fucking randoms that are putting PogChamp in a chat? Because that's my norm, right? That's my norm. But at the same time, you've got the good shit. That's not the norm. It's like, yo, this shit just fucking happened. That's great. And that's that section. And the other section's the bad shit. You know, that's when you do a video of the Let It Rip podcast episode 1 and no one presses like. And it's just like, come on, man. It's like when you say that you're third best player in VL and the best AD carry and then proceed to go 0-3 in week 1. And that's the bad shit. That's the other section. And the issue is that if you listen to society too much, is that you might judge your norm. You might judge drinking Amstel on Twitch with a bunch of people putting PogChamp in the chat as something that's negative, but it ain't. It ain't. Because here's the thing, if you judge your norm as negative, when something bad happens, that's when the Dunzo manifestos come in. Do you know what I mean? That's when the admins decide to not make a ruling about DD and Trelulu when they decide to ban them. They just do it anyway. That's when the Dunzo manifestos come in. And that's the issue. If you judge your norm as something that's sad, now I don't want you to put too much meaning into these words, but something that's sad, and then something bad happens, that's extreme sadness. But I'll tell you what it is, and I realised this today, is United drew to Wolves despite Pogba missing a penalty, and it was a fucking cracker by Ruben Neves, by the way. And we played shit, we didn't start matter. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I realised that because I do that, because I judge this as an extreme, yo mate, you're just sad because United drew. Legit. And fucking, that was some mad shit that I realised today. So what I did was I had a couple more beers, had a cigarette, and then listened to some Oasis. And in the end, I was having a fantastic time. No, I didn't watch the games that I didn't end up casting. Byron did a solid and filled in for me. Although based off general chat and the WSL general chat, it looks like WSLA popped the cunt off. Yeah, it looks like it popped the cunt off. And apparently they played new mid and won. So fucking fair play to them. Don't know who they were talking about. Prox, not reading from a script, mate. My brain is a script. I'm like the biggest creative writer and improv, that's the word, speaker, as you can see. Since anyone, really. And Slaking says you didn't pop off. Bouwer said you played like Greek gods. Someone pop in the Discord, someone pop on. We'll have a conversation about random shit. but this isn't the TFT tournament group draw. I didn't change it for the entire stream last time. Let's change it. What should we call it? Let it rip podcast episode 3, and it's live. That's what we'll call it. Right, look, Slaking. If you're gonna pop on Discord, let's have a chat. Pop on Discord. Let's have a chat. I'm currently on Discord with it. I think. Am I still on there? Yeah, I am. All by my fucking lonesome. Pop in. We'll talk about the game. And until you do that, I'm gonna have a bit of a drink and get a. I'm in Discord, Slaking. If you just go onto the VL Discord, scroll down a bit, LIREP3, WSL Extra. They just sat up by his fucking lonesome with no mates. Come on, join in. Let's talk about the game. Loony, the only thing irrelevant in VL is the Diamond 4, but the platform MMR talking in the Discord, in the Twitch chat. Here he is. Is that Slaking?
No.
No, I'm going to have to turn you up because you're fucking quiet as shit.
Yeah,
right.
No bother, mate.
There we go. I can't turn you any louder than that. So Slaking, I'm going to mute Oasis so you can talk to me without me listening to definitely maybe really fucking loudly. What happened, mate? So who was your game against? Because I didn't watch it.
VGB.
VGB. So VGB for me looked like the favourites after their game against Deja Vu 1-2-1. Wavy Lad popped off. Was pretty confident on the podcast, but tell me how the games went.
Game 1 went really well for us. I played Urgot, didn't think the entire game. Won. Classic Urgot. Game 2, yikes. So in game 2, we were like drafting and our support didn't own any mid laners. So the game randomly gave him new. We ended up playing Doo mid, which was so stupid because we just shouldn't have. There was like one point where it was like around 30 minutes. Because we were just ahead, we had like big ego, and we just started throwing, and they could have very nearly came back if we just kept doing that shit.
But it was just a clean 2-0 in the end.
I mean, game 1 was clean, but game 2,
but the records
really.
will say that it was a clean 2-0 and that WSLA are the best team in Silver Gold. Is that correct or is that correct?
Yeah, true.
That's what I like to hear. I don't think it's Slaking's net Silverback. I just think it's me. Although I have turned my mic down just so that yours is louder by comparison, but we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, man, could be either. Fucking BT, man.
That is true. So let's talk about those games in detail. So what was were you against Couchy or were you against Thron in the top lane for VGB? Thron. How did you rate him? Was he up there? I mean, when Couchy popped off on stream, we were thinking, oh, he's putting Jonjo to shame here. You know, his CSing wasn't great, but like his flash, his knockbacks on a poppy, this guy fucking put up a show. Was Thron the same? Or did you just ruffle stomp him?
I mean, it was like, I could see what he was going for, like, you know, tank player and all, but there was just so many questionable things. In game 1, there was a lot of moments where he just kind of walked out of lane to fish for the channel and just let me farm for free. I got a huge CS lead, even though I never actually followed his TPs because I'm a selfish player, but oh well.
Jonjo, mate, if you want to join, come join the Discord. Sorry, Slaking, continue.
Alright. Yeah, and then game 2, the first 5 minutes of top lane in game 2 were like peak just fucking Kled games. I killed him for first blood, and then he came back, and there was a little skirm where I tried to jump him out of the boat whenever he was walking back the lane. He killed me, so that I TP'd back, and then he killed me.
I'm not gonna lie, mate, that was laggy as shit.
Later, all you have to know, it was a Fiesta, and I played close.
Nice. I'm hoping this isn't a problem with me, to be fair, but we'll crack on. Have you got full bars? Because I've got full bars.
Yeah, I have full bars.
Probably just me then.
Fucking speed test.
Probably just
it could be
me.
my internet being retarded.
As always, Jonjo, come on, you're up for the chat.
Yeah,
we're on Discord. Just the Valance League server. Scroll down with the third one down. LIR rep 3. Come on, Jonjo, pop on. Loony, if you want your chance to talk, this is literally it because I'm never going to do one if you don't get your cam on. There we go. Fucking hell, man. People too scared to show what they look like. Have you seen me? Look at this fucking ugly bastard here. I've not had a shower in about 3 days. Who
I
cares?
fucking crackhead, man.
Here he is. It's Jonjo. Say hello to the world, my friend.
Oh, hello. You're right, Trigger. Hey, Slaking.
What's up? My lawn gang comrade.
I'm good, man.
So, Jonjo, you're not against VGB this week. You played them last week. It was a close series, but in the end, you're outclassed. Jungle difference, as they say. This week, who are you against?
We played Windhull this week, and we won 2-1 in the end. Although we did lose the first game because we always struggle with because the way people work and everything, we don't actually are able to get a game in beforehand. So our game ones are always dreadful. That was last week on stream as well. Like we always suck game one. So yeah, we did end up winning, but we would have liked to have won 2-0, you know.
So, Windal for you compared to VGB, where did he stand?
Oh no, they weren't. They definitely weren't as good. Yeah, that was obvious. Well, we didn't lose for a start, but, but yeah. Out the two teams that we played, they're definitely second. VGB are top of the two teams we played. I haven't. I did see the games earlier as well, and they look really good. Actually, I caught the. Was it the third or the second game? Slacken. You guys were on Spring stream or Bouwer stream. How many
What do
games
you mean?
did you play?
We only played 2 against
Two.
VGB.
I saw the end of the second game.
Oh, I've entered, boys. It's about to get very loud for everybody. Apologies in advance. Right, talk again.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
game 2 was. We just didn't really play how we were meant to with our comp, and then we kind of just ended up winning by brute forcing fights with a fucking Nunu and Nautilus. And yeah. I think game 2 is probably the most fiesta game. The entire fucking split.
Yeah. Who?
I love So basically, what I did, boys, is I had Discord on 1% volume. So
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Fucking idiot.
So if you just want to reconnect you've got to reconnect the volume, lower Twitch or something, because this is how it's going to be now.
Who did you play week 1?
Played. Have either of you?
Slacking, mate. It's definitely your internet here, mate.
Who did they play week 1? Oh, hold on. Oh, we almost. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna check. Slacking, you're making me wait. Who's this?
Oh, we played.
Hi, Bouwer.
We had to get
Hello.
sub.
Who did you play week 1? Can you tell me?
They were against Hentai Haven. Even I know that.
Well,
Yeah.
Trigger, I don't know, man. I get confused. I just concentrate on me, what I'm meant to be doing mainly.
Yeah, Hentai Haven game was a bit of a mess because we had to get a sub, and then on the day of the game we had to get 2 emergency subs, and that was delayed 40 minutes.
I tell you why. I tell you why he has to get 2 emergency subs. Now this is a brilliant story. Because
Okay.
Bouwer shows off in the Focus League, and my team looks like a really good jungler. I'm rating him as one of the top junglers. Needs a little bit of guidance, maybe not as actively proactive in terms of his thought process of how he's going to play the game, but really fucking good. And then he decides what would be a really good idea is to apply to join a team, then go on holiday, not tell anybody until the week of games. So it's like, oh yeah, oh shit, we need a jungler.
Yeah, he told us like the week before, and we were like, oh shit. And we kind of just sat on it because we didn't think we'd actually need it. Because we knew he wasn't going to be there, but then...
But you had a mid sub, didn't you? You had a sub who was going to be mid, as well as the other mid laner that you've got.
Our support, we got the intention of him being the jungler, but then our support didn't have internet on the day of the game, so we had to get that. And then we have 2 mid laners, neither of them showed up, and apparently one of them, his power went out, and The other one's fucking Raptor. He never responds anyway, so...
Okay.
Pretty sure he
Well-
still hasn't responded.
Talk about the real league, please. I don't look at gold plot.
Oh, let's not talk about that shit because we know how Drew's doing in that one at the moment. So Jonjo, let's go back to you.
Yeah.
We played against VGB. It was a close series. Ultimately, Couching made you look a bit like a mug in a tank v tank matchup, and
Yeah.
there's
He is better than Thrun, 100%. I don't know why VGB don't play him most of the time. I think he is better in lane than Thrun, but once he gets out of lane, that's where he starts to suffer, as we saw in the CS. I'm
As-
just saying. I will make that statement, because that's
Fuck.
what I believe.
Jonjo dropping bars, boys. That's what we all came on the Let It podcast to
But-
see.
That's what I think a lot of people have think at the moment now. Just, I don't...
That's fair. Jonjo, that's fair. I want to see more of the TFT Jonjo come out where he just starts flaming every cunt because that's a Jonjo that everyone knows and loves. So front outside of lane, unfortunately, we've not got a VGB representative here to defend these guys.
I really hope he is defended. I don't just want to be, go on though.
Frun was told that he's quite a good carry player. He can take the team on his back. Now it's yet to see if that can happen. But in a game against WSL, did he ever actually get that off? And just before you
No.
answer that question, to answer Stone's point, it's because I've got two monitors. When I speak to the person who I'm speaking to, I look at the second monitor because that's where the names are. So when you see me looking over to this side, that's because I'm retarded. So anyway, WSLA boys, Thron, did he have a 1v9 performance? Was he anything in
No.
lane?
He was more in lane game 2. In game 1, he just didn't do anything, which was surprising because I thought the Shen in the early game could have possibly, done something doing Urgot. Not like killed him, obviously, but he could have at least fought me a bit and got me low.
So how did the rest of your games go, Jonjo? So who was it you were playing? Windhull. You lost the first game. What
Yeah.
happened? Why did you lose it?
Well, to be really honest, and he deserves to take a beating for this, but both of them really do. Bloody Ice and Harsh just getting in each other's way a bit with calling. You know what Harsh can be like. No offense to the guy, but he can sometimes be a bit, too forward with his calls and everything, and basically that pissed off Ice. And yeah, that's why we lost game 1. But once you get your comms together in game 2, we pretty much finished them off in 25 minutes in 2 games, pretty much.
In 2 games. So what I want to do now
First game
is
was 40 minutes. I should put that in. First game was 40 minutes long.
No,
and the second-
ignore
go on.
that. What we say is the first game was like 10 minutes long, and Ice and Harshy solo, even though there's 2 people there, solo lost the game and deserved to be benched. But in the second and third game, you had Jonjo, you had Fool, and you had Franklin just truly pop off and carry that lane on the back. The
Hell
thing
yeah.
is, these people that are spamming GP Talk waiting room, none of yous are in the fucking Discord, are you? So, do you know what I mean? I've got 3 of... There's less teams in the silver gold. There's less... And still 3 people have showed up. Fucking wankers. Join it, you bastards. That's fair, Jonjo. So, between the 3 of yous...
Oh,
Between
Yeah.
Stoned, no one asked you to come. Stoned,
Hey.
no one...
Hey,
No one
hey, why are you
invited
gonna
you.
be like that?
nah, look, mate, it's just a 100 Cobra reunion. Come on.
That's fair. But anyway, you silver gold lads. If you were to kind of analyse the 6 teams now obviously we can't account for 2 of the teams. No, 3 of the teams, sorry. Where are we rating them? Kind of, do you both see yourselves as top? Because obviously WSLA, you're the only 2-0 team now, I assume.
No, they're not.
Oh,
Capri Sun blokes are
Yeah,
on
I
that.
think Capri Sun's
Oh.
too. Oh, who's this?
That's Mershed.
that's Mersh.
Oh, there he is.
Yes,
Mish,
Mersh, hello, mate.
You were just on the last podcast, you fucking greedy bastard. Anyway.
Man, it's a fucking top lane party now.
where,
fucking leave.
no, you're alright, you can stay. Where do you rate the where do you rate? I tell you what I'll do is I'll put the Discord thing on so everyone can see who's actually talking. Where do you rate the teams now? So who is the S tier teams in your opinion? Not a power rankings. This isn't for definite. This is just your opinion, a prediction on where you think the teams are going to end up, so no one can chat
S-tier.
shit. So who are
Uh,
those top tier teams? Would you say that both WSLA and Capri Suns are there? if they were against each other? Is there a clear difference, or do you think that maybe the DVs and VGBs have been a little bit struck off because of their strength of schedule?
I think that I mean probably Capri Suns is only top lane 1v9, right?
I know fucking nothing about Capri Sun, honestly.
Capri Suns
Same.
are a weird one because there's a lot of problems with them in terms. We all know the shout that's gone out about them. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of it. New Trigger. They shout that guy is a Smurf.
Well, yeah, I mean it's pretty nailed on now. Pickles, man, if you're watching,
Stop being a dick. That's pretty much it. No.
in a
Go
way,
on.
yeah, in a way, if you could stop doing that, but also if you're not a Smurf, just show us. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's been something about summoner spells or whatever it may be. There you go, boys. Look at that. That's fucking professional right there. You see that shit? And if you look at the stream, you can see who's talking now.
I'm looking at it, yeah.
God, I'm fucking good, right? Vote for me for Stream of the Year on whatever random polls that there might be for that shit. Let's have a look at Twitch chat. Yeah, Charmander, anyone can join. Anyone can join. So you'd say that Capri Sun's probably top, but it's very much a top lane centric team that might not last till the end.
Yeah, that's probably
mean,
my thought.
The thing is, they're top lane centric, but so is WSA. Because, I mean, our bot lane, our game plan is basically just bot lane, like, goes even, they don't fight, and then Bouwer just camps topside. And lets me play something carry.
I'm actually saying got something great here, but didn't your guy get 2 pentas?
Yeah, he did, but he didn't do much in lane. I'm not saying he's bad, but he doesn't do much in lane.
Wait. I'm an AD carry. Are we saying that your AD carry got 2 pentas but didn't do much in lane? Like, how is an AD carry meant to win laning phase? It's an AD. Who was he playing? Was he playing like Jinx or Twitch or some shit? How the fuck's he man to carry laning phase, you bastard? His support got him through it. He got on a late game champion, and then he carried yous, right? Don't fucking take the credit. This boy got 2 pentas. Big up WSLA's AD carry, even though I don't know his name.
Listen, he would have gotten the pentas if I didn't tank the turret like a fucking mongoloid so he could do it. Alright? I take full credit. Even though we did throw game 2 by letting him get it. Oh gee, it's fucking party in here now.
Big in here.
Even more of a 100 Cobra reunion.
Everyone wants to be on a podcast. So that's it with Silver Gold now. No, it's not. We'll continue the topic. So are we saying Capri Sun's the top? Are WSLA up there with them? Or or a DV and VGB massively below? Where do we rate him?
I think it's all quite even, to be honest. Up at the top, there's quite a few teams that could do it. Like,
who's not at the top then, Jonjo? Who's not at the top?
Well, I think it's the teams that haven't won yet.
Hence Haven and Windhow.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's just got to be them due to results and statistics, to be honest.
So there you go, Hentai Haven and Windhow. I'm not saying I predicted it. I'm not saying I predicted it, but I did predict it. He's a shit. There we go. Jonjo said it, not me. I didn't say it.
Don't drop me in it.
Right, Stone, Byron, you've jumped on. Byron, I tell you what, you were casting today's games. What did you rate? What did you rate about today's games?
Sons of Capri Sun are the best team in the league easily. There's just no contest there, and yeah, that's about what I took from it. I mean, Hensel Haven can't even really be judged off that game because like the way Sons of Capri Sun played, it was like they'd played.
Did they drop a game though?
No, they haven't dropped a game yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think they had.
Like the macro that they've been playing has impressed me more than the individual play. Like the way they were able to just snowball their advantages, know exactly when to get objectives, get turrets, push for platings. Like they're such a smart team, and that's just like it isn't something I've ever really seen from a VL team. And I reckon you put the Sons of Capri Sun team into last season's split, and they have a shot at the title. Like from the way they've been playing, like they just look that good.
Okay, so would you say then? Would you say then that Sons of Capri Sun have a Smurf in the roster? Not pointing fingers this time, but just based off how they played, do they have that level of in-game leader that has a macro knowledge that is above the silver gold level? or would you say that it's just a well-coerced team, clearly been together for a while, and they know what they're doing? In your, and I know you're a moderator, but just in your own
I'll be
opinion.
honest, don't worry. So like, I've heard things about their practice, which has really impressed me. Is they've had their coach on like the other monitor screen sharing it, and then explaining what macro moves they need to make at a certain point in the game during scrims, which is really good because then they understand in games what moves to make. So that's part of the reason why the macro is really good. Now, do they have Smurfs? I wouldn't say they have Smurfs, but I reckon they've got at least like 2 sandbaggers. If we go in sandbag route, because if I'm able to get gold free and I'm supposed to be one of the worst mid laners of last split, then pretty much like, come on, like 50% of the league's fucking sandbagging at this point. If you guys are gonna start pointing fingers, so like, they've definitely got at least like 2 free sandbaggers. But that's just like how it's gonna be in most leagues. I don't think there's any way to just snap your fingers and remove the problem.
Unfortunately, not a lot of people are. I say a lot of people are trusted. A lot of people are known now, so it's easier to kind of analyze. But with these new teams, it's a lot easier. Bouwer, stop trying to change your name to snake me out, boy. I will get you every single time. That's fair. So we've got.
Got him.
Oh, he did. Jay, shut now. Fuck it, I'm not going to bother. That's too much effort. So we've got Stoned in here as well. Stoned, and we've also got Charmander, and we've also got Mershed. So you boys are these GP, well, no beds really, as it goes.
Wow.
I mean, I said it, not no one else. What's your opinion after the week of games so far? Have you been keeping up with the Silver Gold League as well? What have you got to say? Why have you even bothered to think that you are enough of a presence to join this?
I've been watching a bit of the Silver Gold, yeah, but I haven't watched much. Who was it that got forced onto Nunu? By the way,
Our mid laner.
your
Festive.
mid lane.
Festive, yeah.
Yeah, because I heard about it, but I didn't see it. So yeah, but that's a bit. That's quite interesting, and that didn't work.
Quick question: was it the biggest snubble ever?
Fuck off, Byron.
That pun was fucking fantastic, to be fair. Harshy, mate, you've been put to shame. You've been put to shame with that one.
Yeah, what basically happened is we were going to last pick mid, and our support didn't own any mid laners, and the game just randomly gave him Nunu.
I think it was like the
we're not
last
allowed to
5
remake.
seconds.
Fuck
And it was like, what did he call again? It was like Kiana. He didn't own it.
Ari,
fucking
don't own
Ari,
it.
Don't own it.
Fouls, don't own it.
Who
And then
did he go against as Nunu?
Kali on Ari.
Yeah, Ari versus Nunu.
Who won that matchup? Just out of interest.
Well, I don't think
mean-
anyone really won the lane, but I mean, the Nunu
He
wasn't.
didn't win lane, of
balanced,
course,
yes.
because you can't really.
He
like,
should have been
He
down
was
for
going full
CS.
magic resist. He
He
had
didn't
zero
lose.
damage.
Yeah,
was
he
gonna
didn't lose turret either.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
his
they were even CS basically.
yeah, with his heal, he shouldn't really be
Yeah.
pushed out of lane much.
That's true.
Charmander, Charmander lad, let's get you in a conversation. So you've also thought that you were enough of a presence, and people have that give a shit what you've got to say. So you've joined this call. You want to say something, even though I invited everybody. I didn't specifically invite you. So what have you got to say on the Let It Rip podcast, on the biggest podcast in the entirety of Alliance League, which has got over 100 members? You know, this is some high quality prestige content right here. That you have thought that you have enough important shit to say that you've joined it. So Charmander, embrace us with this.
Well, the main thing I joined was to laugh at Loony thinking pro's better than the rest of Gold Plat was the main reason.
Who's
They
better?
did play very
Pro.
well though.
Yeah.
I did cast the game. They were quite good. I don't know how much of that was.
You're
just
literally
what
Dewey's
happened to
dog.
You guys,
You're
but they
literally
did play
Dewey's
very
dog.
well.
You literally
Right,
play
okay.
for Dewey 24/7.
Right, okay, so let's keep this shit taped because there's almost too many people now in this. So let's keep this stabilized and with Big Man Drigger in control. So we're talking about pro now. How good a pro? So for me, now you can feel free to interrupt. They've got a big strength in their jungle with Olu, who seems almost as good as Dewey, if not as good, despite the game against Elo Thieves going in the Elo Thieves' favour for the jungle. They've got mid laner Kraft, who's a lot better than he was in Compete League, and put Dave to shame against PMA on his most comfortable champion. So he's clearly something to write home
What?
about. Well, you said it yourself. You know, you let him pick what he wanted. He picked the Z, and Kraft shit on his head. Is that true or is that not true?
That's not his most comfortable champion.
Who is his most comfortable champion?
Well, that would be telling.
Shit.
Trying to get the leaks.
So how would you evaluate then? Pro Loony, we'll take it to you.
The team as a whole, or just the mid laner?
The team as a whole, as well as the mid laner.
Well, obviously they've got the big boy Smurf in the jungle, so he's probably like a top 2 or top 3.
Is he better than Dewey?
No.
Mershed says no.
That's a big no.
He probably. I don't know what his mental is like and stuff like that, but like if he's a really positive, a positive mental in the team, then he probably.
Yeah, he is. He's proper chilled out. His mental is really decent.
Then he's probably more valuable, but as an individual player, maybe not. But then Dewey's kind of unstable mental plus not needs, but he like demands certain things from his laners. So
let's take it from there. Let's open up the floor, because obviously there's a lot of people in the call at the moment. So let's talk about this Dewey versus Olu matchup, which is pretty hyped, and people can't wait until round 2 when these teams have got time to gel. Now, Dewey did take advantage in the game, but my experience of filling in jungle for Elo Thieves, which, as we all know, did not go well. I apologise for completely ruining your scrim record, by the way. It didn't go well, and it seemed like you guys really needed direction, and you needed that early game influence that Dewey obviously offers. And after watching the stream, you know, because Dewey streams all the games, he's very vocal. He often tells you guys what he's going to do. He pings a lot, which is quite unusual for fives, about how we're going to play, and then you guys can chip in with your mechanics and an opinion here or there. Is that accurate,
I think
and Charmander?
Maybe like at the start of Elo Thieves, yeah, but especially recently, Mershed's a lot bigger of a voice, and we're a lot more self-reliant without Dewey now than we were maybe when we first started as a team.
Okay, so my question then goes over to Stoned as our only pro kind of representative. What does Olu do in terms of shot calling within the team? Because obviously you've got Valkyrie, who's an undoubtedly big voice and probably clashed with Dewey, which is the reason he didn't work on Elo Thieves. What does Olu really offer in terms of the macro, both in the early game but also the mid to late as well?
He knows how to play around things and everything like really well. You know what I mean? He knows how to get people ahead and literally keep them ahead most of at a time. But our biggest one was against Elo Thieves, because he tried to do that, but it was more of a challenge, obviously because of their team. And that, you know what I mean? So, and macro-wise, he's really good. Our main shot caller is actually Falk, and it works out really well. Like, he does shot call really well 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? But yeah, all in all, he's a solid player, and like he's chill, and his mental is really good, and that's what you need as a jungler, really. Because if he gets put, if he gets and that behind, he ain't gonna lose his fucking head and just start with doing a load of dumb shit and throw the game. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So I'll take this back to Loony, and also Endeavour's joined it as well. So we'll take it to both of you two as more of the higher real representatives that people can judge from an unbiased perspective based off that information.
Brother goal too.
Oh Jesus, that was loud. Fuck me. 200%, take you down to 50. How do you judge those two junglers? Ignore any allegations, but based off what you've said now from Elo Thieves and pro representatives, who would you say is better? Who offers more to the team?
Who is definitely what's his name, the pro one.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of their team, I think Chewy's a good player, but he's just way too fast tempo for his team. Like to the point where he'll make a play and his team can't catch up just because they don't have to follow up on their comp.
Yeah, if you put Dewey on a team with like 4 of me, then I'd do better than a team of 4 of me plus Olu. But then for this league, probably not. Don't want Dewey. You want the other guy.
Yeah.
That's that one there. So Loony, talk to me about the rest of the matchups in terms of your opinion of pro. Where do you stand on the rest of this team? Do you see this team as the top tier team, and for what reason? Why?
I can't remember where I put them. Let me find my thing.
Well, don't look at that thing. I have an opinion now.
Yeah, but I need to remember what I fucking put down because I can't remember.
Because your opinions then were complete bullshit, and almost everybody disagreed with them. But we'll crack on.
You can
I
disagree with
honestly
it, like-
think the team would be, even though the better's not totally focused around jungle right now, I feel like the team would be bottom mid tier without Olu.
Okay, so you said I said they were the best, but I actually put them 5th. So
No, I was just asking if you did.
no, I'd say top of the middle of the pack, but they may be able to get higher. They could definitely be in the top, say 3 with improvement, but right now probably 5th is a fair spot.
I'll tell you an interesting topic to talk about while the GP boys have just joined. Now, I apologise to the Silver Gold guys while you just sat here doing fuck all, but I asked you questions earlier. Let's talk about Valkyrie, because this guy's a bit of a bigger influence. He's been around for, 2 years now, really? You know, he is a bit of a mainstay in the community. He was on Elo Thieves. He left Elo Thieves. We didn't hear too much about the reasons why. And obviously, Pro, I want to get your opinions on him as well. So I'll start with Mershed and Charmander. Talk to me about Valkyrie. Why did it not work? Be honest. Be ruthless.
I'll
Do you
let
wanna go
Mersh
first,
start. I'll let you start this one.
Okay, so my point of view on it, Valkyrie, like, don't get me wrong, he's a really nice guy, good for like team atmosphere and shit like that. But after playing with him 2 months, like for us anyway, or for me anyway, comms wise, he talked about a lot of stuff that wasn't really relevant, and it kind of cluttered comms. It meant we couldn't make some like vital calls, like around macro and playing around objectives and shit. Yeah, and like for someone who played pretty much engaged champions every game, he never really made engages. He never called that like he was looking for an engage or anything like that. He didn't even call that he was like going to like get vision and shit so we could like go with him and shit like that.
So before Charmander butts in, a couple of things I want to mention, just to kind of play devil's advocate, if anything. So the point you made there was kind of 2 main points for me. Is just had too many cooks spoil the broth, in a way, that you had a lot of vocal people talking, he was cluttering comms. Quite really an issue that WSL have as well. But is that saying he's a bad cook, or just that there were too many cooks? Because competing with yourself and Dewey, do you think it doesn't make him a bad shot caller? It's just the things he was saying, or is it that there were too many people talking, or is it just straight up that he wasn't talking about relevant shit, he wasn't good for the team because of that? Like, ignore the second point, but Mersh, just to get an answer on that, is it just that he wasn't good at what he was saying, or was it that he just had too many people talking?
I think it was that he wasn't good at what he was saying. Because when he was shot calling, it was like Dewey doing all the early game stuff, and then it was like Dewey and Valk doing mid game, late game. And don't get me wrong, like some instances it was fine, but 9 times out of 10, like the calls he made, I personally felt were probably the wrong ones. And he was like pretty much the only one like making those calls as well. And like we gave him several scrims to like give him a fair shot and shit. He just didn't really do well enough of a job, in my opinion.
And I think the other thing for me was there was a lot more of asking for engages rather than going for them and trusting us to follow up. I think that was, for me at least, that was a reason why.
Okay, So for me, that is very much the second point of this guy's playing on a team with Dewey, who is almost unrivaled in shot calling within the league. Maybe people might view Endeavour as the only other one that could really match that. Obviously, people have got their independent teams and will have different opinions. But maybe being on a team with Valk, that becomes harder. It's people aren't enjoying the things that I'm calling. I've had criticism of the things that I've been saying. Am I allowed to just say that we're going to make this engage, or after the game is everyone going to flame me because of it? And maybe you can understand where Valk's head at is in terms of why these calls weren't happening and why I was a little bit more unsure. So I'll bring this back to Stoned. How's Valk on Pro? Like, what's this guy's comms like? Truly, especially the two topics that they brought up. Where does he stand for you as the primary shot caller for your team?
I mean, he hasn't done like nonsense talking for us or anything. Like, if we're in game, it's completely game based. I'm not sure if he's changed his shot calling since he's left you guys or what, but like, it's not the same as in pro. Like he calls out what he's about to do and then does it like instantly. Like on a Shen, and that for example, he's like, I'm gonna go taunt now, and then he's instantly in there, and then everyone's literally piling that person. So I'm not sure if it's because there was too many people shot calling in Elo Thieves or not, but like in pro, it seems to obviously be working. You know what I mean?
That's fair. It's a very interesting topic with the whole Valk debate. We didn't get a lot of content about it before the game happened, unfortunately, especially given how much was really at stake in that game. You know, two junglers going head to head, Valk against his old team. We'll blame the admins for that one. But Byron, let's go back to you, because obviously you're a moderator for the staff team at the moment. It's had a couple of changes. Obviously, Impress is no longer there. Hyper's stepped in. Joycey's seeming to take a lot of the face role. Like he seems to be kind of the front facing admin. Obviously, Glenn doing a lot of the background stuff. Travis obviously with the stream and stuff. You've taken this head caster role. So first off, talk to me about what you've done in setting up your league of casters. What's your idea with where you want to go, and how much is this going to take hold of content as well, or is this just strictly casting?
Well, essentially, I just kind of looked at a list of people who were interested. Was like the first thing, just to get a gauge of how many people were like wanting to do it. Was it just a case of there were like 6 people wanting to cast, or was it like a 20? It ended up being, I think, 17 people applied. So obviously, thanks to everyone who did that. And then past that, I had the luxury of being able to pick which ones I wanted to really try out, which ones like I didn't really want to put on the team. And overall, I've got myself a group of casters now that I'm confident will always be able to put out a good show. And that's the main thing. I want to focus on quality, not quantity, over the split. There's a lot of times over the last split, and it's creeping into this split a little bit that I'm going to try and avoid, where a game will be like rescheduled until like a Wednesday or something, and then they'll be like, "Where's our casters?" And it's like the way I'm trying to structure it is that Mondays and Thursdays, scheduling the casters, people will know in advance. I mean, I want to get that going a little bit better than what I have right now, but the aim is to have it so that people can prep their casts, give good quality shows, rather than throwing all these games at all these casters and hoping that people can cast them all, because that's not going to happen. And last bit, the issue I had this casting is why I wanted to step in, was because it became a case of whoever shouts the loudest gets the cast, and that shouldn't work like that. I wanted to give people who wanted to cast a place to be able to do that, where they wouldn't have to sit there and argue with people about whether they wanted to cast or not, what places they would have. In terms of content, like, anyone can do their own content. If you want to do content, let me know. I'll set it up with you. I have a few ideas of my own, but the issue is I don't really have the time right now with work and then all the casting I'm doing anyways. Like, to try and fit in extra stuff on top of that, it's just it's not gonna happen. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, to cover both points, obviously, there were certain casters last split that I had to mute the stream for. They were that unlistenable to, and luckily, I don't think that particular person isn't involved in the league anymore, which is a benefit for me. I won't name any names, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. Only has 3 letters. But the content side, so is the admins just not going to bother with the content? Because obviously, some of the biggest content that I can remember comes from people who aren't really on the staff team. So I think Impress is obviously always doing great content. Cradden for me did the best content last split in terms of the VLDL. Obviously, there's myself as well. However you judge that, that's up to you. Are admins not gonna, or the staff team itself, not looking to create their own content, or is it just going to be, well, we'll hope the league is self-sufficient in this? And is that something that you could maybe push for, or is that just how it is?
But the league is self-sufficient in content. That's the first thing to realize. You have last split there was so much content. I mean, like to the point that like there isn't any need to push for content right now. I feel like we have plenty of people around who want to, and the way I see it is that if you want to do a bit of content, you know, the admins are there to support you. Like, I'm here to support you. If you want to help with like creating content or publicizing it, the admins are very willing to help you do that. But like in terms of hard hunting, trying to get content going, like I said, my focus right now is getting quality casts done over the next Mondays and Thursdays. That's kind of my goal for this split. Is just to make sure people can tune in on the Monday and Thursday to a good show of good casters that they're enjoying. It's a good time for everyone. Like that's my focus. The extra stuff, like if there's another tournament going on, people want casters for that, or if people want to do some content on the side, then like I'm willing to foster that. I mean, like, but I'm not. That isn't necessarily going to be my focus to split. The focus of split will be on having a consistently good casting team.
You are the head cast, and that's what your role is, and that's what your responsibilities are. That's fine. I just kind of wanted to get to see where it was at. I mean, if anything, it was unfortunate that Pro versus Elo Thieves was so early in the split, because for me, that's got so much potential. But that's it. I ain't got fuck all any questions to ask. So someone just rap out something fucking mental, and we'll talk about it.
Right, I need to dip anyways. Have a good night, everyone.
See you, Byron.
Cheers, Byron.
Yeah.
Loony, say something controversial.
Mershed is overrated.
Mershed is overrated.
Wow.
Fantastic topic. Let's
shit.
talk about top playing in GP. So, Pro versus Elo Thieves. You two against each other. How was the matchup? Who's better? Stone, you talk first.
I mean, me and Mershed, right? We always have like this great fucking lane. Yeah, like it's either we just. I think Mershed is more an that of an that like a bruiser player, right? Like he wants to be on your face all the time. Where like everyone knows I like my Fane, my Cassio. I want to keep you like at arm's length and
Fucking degenerate.
and literally try to deny your farm. You know what I mean? And Mershed is a great laner. Like we say it in that DMs as well. Like our top lane, like it's just so fun to go against Mershed, because I know that I don't want to sound like a dick, but I know that it's going to be real close and real fun. You know what I mean? I know Mershed ain't going to go on this dirty tank that I'm just going to literally abuse all game, and he knows that from me as well. So it's always fun to lane with.
You like 1v2s?
I mean, no, but it is fun though. Like if you taking that the junglers out of it, right? Like me and Mershed, we will just trade over and over again. Like, and it makes it fun. Like say I'm a Fane versus a Scion or something. That's the most boringest fucking lane I'm ever gonna play. I'm just literally gonna murder that Scion over and over again. But with Mershed, I know he ain't gonna play that tank. He's gonna play something to actually duel, and that with me, which makes it fun. So I always enjoy going against Mershed. Yeah, I did in silver gold, and I always will in gold or plat, because I know that it's gonna keep me and like awake and on my toes. It ain't gonna be some boring fucking lane.
That's fair. So Mershed, in response to that, obviously, first off, you're overrated as shit, which is a fair comment. And the only reason that's fair is because I personally felt at the end of last split, even during last split, that I thought you were the best top player in the league. During last split, and there's not many people I'm considering to take that spot away from you. And obviously, your biggest weakness is obviously your champion pool. Is obviously you don't own all champs, and you've got this style that Stone says. What's your opinion on Stoned? And how much do you rate yourself?
Okay, so I'll respond to the overrating thing first. I've never like come out and said like, "Oh, I'm the best top in the league." Like,
Hold on, I
fight
never
me.
said you said it. I said you're overrated, as in
Yeah.
everyone always says that you're the best in the league, and I just don't agree.
I mean,
I never
that's
said
fair
you
enough. I think what other people think of me is like, I don't know. It's like you said with the 2v1 and shit with Stoned. Back on VGR and back on VGR, I probably got about 3 ganks in the whole split.
I'm
And
feeling you. Big side of shit jungler as well, Slaking. I'm joking.
Nah, man.
I was left
pressure.
on my own little island all game.
yeah, I got like 3 ganks all split. So every lead I've made pretty much on my own. I don't think there's too many top laners that can really like do the same thing. I think I've got obvious weaknesses. I'm not going to say what they are.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like Stoned is probably one of the biggest ones just because of his champ pool. Like put me in like a ranged matchup and I'm not really comfortable. Like yeah, I can lose gracefully. But I prefer being like relevant and like dominant in the first 20 minutes. If not, then I think that's where I struggle.
So would you say then that the reason I think you're the best top laner is just because of your champion pool? So as Stone says, there's not many people that are picking these carry matchups, these ranged matchups, these bruiser matchups. It's, I'm just going to pick Sion again, Smork. And because you're picking Darius and Renekton, you'll be able to punish them because of it. You get these 1v1, 1v2 leads because you're good at playing in that matchup. And then you're able to get your leads that way. Would you say that's why you're a stronger laner, just because of who you're against rather than what you've actually offering to the team?
I say I can offer more to my team, but I haven't really had to show it so far. Like in scrims and shit, I've played plenty of picks which are pretty much purely team focused. And like, yeah, I'm probably not great at them at the moment, but I'm working on that shit. I don't know. I'm strongest when I'm like on like a melee slap fight, like I said. I think it was yesterday.
I think.
Yeah. I don't think that like I'm limited to that. I think I'm probably one of the best top laners at like playing a melee matchup because I know with the champions I play, I know most of the matchups, so I know how they go and shit. To be honest, I forgot what the question is and I'm rambling.
Welcome to the Lettery Podcast, bitch. That's all I fucking do. C says that Kuki and Silverback were better. Well, I mean those two teams went to the final, didn't they? So that's an easy comment to say. Endeavour, let's talk to you for a little bit. Let's talk to you. What's going on in Ike at the moment? So there's a big meme about you being gold 1 with a 70% win rate or whatever the fuck it is, needing to play your rank, whatever the fuck it is, needing to play your rank games. This other mid laner's come in, popped the fuck off on Akali, and so far your team's undefeated. What's going on with Ike? First off, why the fuck was I not chosen as AD carry? I don't know.
Influence doesn't like people from Manchester.
I mean,
and I can agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So who is this new random guy that's come in? Where's he come from? Is he just a Reddit bloke?
So if you scroll back all the way and look for the team, he was like one of the people looking for a team before the split spot. I have no clue where he came from, but he sounds oddly like Remix, which is questionable.
Here we go, boys. Here we go.
He sounds like. When I first went in, I thought he was Remix because it does seem like the kind of thing Impress would do. But the more I talk to him, the more I think he just sounds like a 16-year-old version of Remix. Like he sounds super young, like fucking hell.
Wait, 16-year-old version of Remix? So just Remix but 3 years older.
And better than Remix.
Easy joke.
He
So
plays a really solo queue style, so I don't think he is remix, and he plays a pretty different champ pool to remix. I think
yeah,
I
no,
don't know
no,
what to
it's
think anymore.
no one thinks that remix is I'm gonna pick a Carly here in 1v9 because watching the only game that I've seen of Ike so far, that was a 1v9 performance by far. I don't think anyone can really
Yeah.
disagree because both bot and top were losing hard. And who was it against again? It was against OPN.
This one.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty much the way I justified that is because OPN's mid laner is the biggest in mid is the biggest in laner basically. He runs it down 50%.
and we've got Kiz in our league, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's a fucking statement.
The way I would describe their mid laner is basically Kiz but with lower lows and higher highs.
I mean, that's as coin flip as you get, isn't it? So where do you see Ike this split? Because for me, Ike have got everything that you need them to have, but after trying out for them, you've got issues in the communication side. Obviously, you're not playing at the moment.
I think the comms are better now, actually. Just because I'm not playing and you're not playing.
To be fair, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think they're a pretty good team. Maybe not split winning, but that's probably because right now their mid and ADs are a bit more solo QE than you might want. I think they'll improve over the course of the split, but have to see, I guess.
A worrying thing for me is obviously we know what Dopa can do in top, but would that just leave Impress to be the main shot caller? And is Impress good enough at jungle and good enough as a shot caller to make that team go, make it tick?
Yeah, I think Impress isn't the best shot caller, but Oscar and the rest of the team talk enough to contribute to that, to like kind of or at least try to amend it as much as they can.
That's fair. That's fair. And is their AD carry better than me?
I mean, you should see the scrims he pops the fuck off, Orients, pretty much.
Orients, there we go. I'm very anti-coin flip. I just go 3-3 every game and useless as shit, so I'll take that as a
But
compliment.
so far he's a bit less coin flip, maybe 70-30, 80-20. He's been popping off pretty well recently.
Bastard. Fair enough. Charmander, we've not spoken much to you. What have you got to say? Say something fucking crazy that you think's true.
Well, I just want to quickly go back to the Mersh thing and say the reason I think he's one of, if not the best top laners, is he's one of the few top laners we can trust with resources. So if we like spend our time with Mershed and get him ahead above, say, bot lane or me, we know we can trust him to carry, which there's a lot of top laners that just won't.
Charmander, where are you from?
You can probably take a guess.
Just say it so I don't have to.
I'm from Liverpool, mate.
For fuck's sake. See, get him out of here. No one invited you. No, it's alright. It's alright. Just having to listen. Go on.
If it makes it any better, I'm not actually from Liverpool. I'm from Widnes.
You have the accent, that's all that matters.
It's the same as Dan, innit? Dan's not properly from Liverpool, but still pretends he is. Do you, I mean, you've got one chance to save yourself. Is it Everton or Liverpool for you?
Liverpool.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, it's the end of the Letter It podcast. Go on, Loony, you've shut up for a while, which is unlike you. Say something weird and talk about it.
Say something weird?
Well, you know, just... You've wanted to be on a podcast for a while. Explain why and talk about shit.
I don't know. Come up with a topic and I'll drop my hot take.
The league, GP. Where does everyone stand? Week 1 of games. The laners. There's enough inspiration. Talk.
What do you want to know?
Anything! If not, it's over. Because no one's chatting in chat because everyone's realised they can just fucking jump on here instead. So the concept was shit.
DVT will come last.
Do you think DVT will come below WSL?
Well, it depends on Bob, but let's just take Bob out of it because I have no clue about them. They'll come bottom 2. How about that?
Why do you think? Why do you think? Go on, Endeavour, go on.
So this is some insider knowledge, I guess, but I have been told they've brought in Aaliyah and they are taking it a bit more seriously.
Yeah, they do have a coach. I can see that.
No more thrash top. And to be honest, they don't scrum a lot, and even with that shitty draft, they still nearly beat. Who was it? They against Eel Thieves and VGR?
Yeah, they took Elo Thieves. I think that was the stream game, wasn't it?
No,
Not the
the
stream
VGR
game.
one.
They entered drafting that.
Yep.
But the
And-
first one they said was really promising. Well, they found it promising, even though they threw it, I think.
Well, yeah,
I
because
think,
I was watching. Sorry, I was watching the game against Elo Thieves. Obviously, we were about to play them because our 6 o'clock game got moved to 9 o'clock. So it's obviously we're about to play Elo Thieves. Let's watch them. And I mean, Dewey carried the early game, but then in the mid game, and the thing is that you know a team is good when a team can do something in the mid game if they can get their leads. Because for me, that's the hardest time of the game. Late game's easy, just fucking throw your tanks at front and your carries it back and hope you win a team fight. And early game is just how good your jungler and support. But in a mid game, it's about the team play, and they seem to get some really crucial engages with Arbush and Kiers being those relatively coin flip players. So I think it's quite unfair to say that they'd be at the bottom. So I want to get your thought process, Loony, of why you think they're worse than WSL, because we've not won a game yet at all. Flex, anything, just we've not won.
If you just replace a couple of players, I'm sure you'll win like half of your games and then end up in the
Maybe they
middle.
are making tryouts, wink wink.
Yeah. Well, it depends if you get rid of the one that is a big letdown and potentially the other one that's a big letdown.
Name names.
Go on, dude.
Do I need to
Yeah,
go
you
into
do.
this drama
You
again?
do.
For
Come on,
fuck's
let's go.
sake.
Come on.
Yeah.
Alright, get rid of your mid laner for a start.
Why?
He's fucking garbage, man.
So some would say when you look at the KDAs, he's the least
Who
in
is
and
your
out of the
mid
lot.
laner?
It's Fatal, who's like a long-standing member of WSL, good friend to
Okay.
Luxa.
See, now I'm
That
just
was
gonna
the
get
one-
fucking atted all the time.
He
Now I've
lost
said
to Tristana, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was
Yeah,
he
but
was
Tristana's
playing
not,
Kiana.
like-
To be fair, he was.
Tristana's-
Yeah.
Just not that bad. I mean, I think he
That's
should
the
win the
thing.
Kiana matchup.
Well, we can disagree with that later, but if you ban Izari, what's he got left? Other than Lux as champions?
I mean, I'm not going to comment on that, obviously. but
I don't think
okay.
he's got anything.
So why do you think he's the issue, and who's the other person that you think maybe is the issue?
Okay.
You're going to say it. Explain it.
I said potentially, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
that's okay. Explain
I think-
yourself.
You. Like, I think with you need to have like 4 people with you that like conform to your criteria as to what you want on the team, and I don't think that squad will do it. But then obviously I don't know what Silverback's like or Wise Town, or even Brabch being on a team, so I don't know if that's like if they're gonna end up fitting the criteria for you, which is why it's a potential. But like if they do, then it should work if you just replace your mid, I would say.
Yeah, no, to be fair, the points about me are probably true. I mean, I won't go into too much detail, but to talk about WSL finally, we've tried to play. Me and Bramsh clash. So, back when I was a very recessive AD carry that was a Civil 1 trick, you know, I was great at playing 1v2s in a bot lane. I could right-click minions, get more CS than the enemy AD carry in a 1v2 and not die. I was really good at that. That was my strength. And then Bramsh's strength is roaming. So you thought, oh, what a fucking combo this is. Drigger sits back, does fuck all, and Bramsh goes and roams and makes shit happen. The issue is that when asking the question who's probably the best carry on WSL, maybe this is just my opinion, but I think some people on the team would agree with me, it's me. So when playing some of my more aggressive champs, because my champion pool is relatively big, again, this is me being relatively egotistical, but you can say what you want. If I get a lead, if I get 3 kills in the early game, I'm going to 1v9 the game, in my opinion. So it's, like you say, and I think it's a fair point, if the team conform to me, then I'm going to play well and the team will perform well. If they don't, well then, we've got the issues that WSL are having at the moment. And that's the issue. Me and Bramsh clash, we've got 2 different styles. And in terms of draft, me and Fatal clash. And the rest of the team does as well. So we'll see how the tryouts go. I think we'll be okay. And for once, I'm finally going to fucking commit to a team, which is, well, you know, breaking the trend. But, you know, we'll see how the team goes. I've got faith. We'll win 1 game. I really hope we'll beat Bob.
So you can commit, but will they commit to you?
With the players on WSL, like excluding the mid, I don't see how you couldn't be middle by the end.
Well,
at least middle.
Everyone clashes on the team. It's the issue at the moment. Now, there are going to be at least 1 roster swap. Who they are, we don't know yet, and I'm not fully willing to release everything yet. But there is tryouts coming in for every role. Every role is going to be questioned, and Lux is kind of a bit pissed off with the fact that it's gone so shit. Because as I say, we've not won a single game. We went 0-3. We've not won a scrim, and even when we play Flex as 5, we've not won. But it's weird because when we play with less members, we do really fucking well. Like, everyone will carry, and it's every different combination we've had. It's just the combination's not really working at the moment. So we'll see how we move further on. But at the end of the day, Team Elite went 0-7, and then had a really good performance in the league. Just got knocked out by Centurion, the best team that's ever graced VL and CL history. And I mean, that's respectable, isn't it? And then won the cup.
Would you say Bramch is a strong mechanical player?
He is a good mechanical player. I think he was by far the best support last split. Don't know if he's the best support this split. I think he's very smart. I think he's good mechanically, but it's just the combination of the two and making things work around him.
So why don't you try to
pick Pike and then play Bramch's style?
No. If this makes you the best team, I'm going to regret this. But if he's a strong mechanical player, he's smart and he's good at roaming, why don't you make him learn mid lane and get a support that you want to lane with?
Because first off, that means Bramch has got to play mid, which he's not a mid lane player. He plays AD carry and support. We've already got Fatal mid lane, so that means he'd have to change role, and he could go to support.
Just hang on. Just because someone has played historically does not mean they're not able to switch roles. Like, look at someone like Laudio who can switch role every season and be one of the best in that role because of the way he plays the game, not the role.
But is Laudio that good?
Well,
because in my tryouts, nothing that Laudio did screamed to me that this was a good jungler. Good player, yes.
I would say he's underrated. Like,
I think this isn't like I think those scrims that you played though, he was not doing well at all in those small games. So there's no reason. Obviously, you aren't to know different, but after seeing like all the scrims from being there, he's probably. I mean, in form right now, he's the top performer on PMA, but it kind of switches between a few people.
Well, you've got 3 different carries, don't you? Even Fatman Gandhi can pop off occasionally, so that's fair. But that's fair enough. Just I can only go off what I've seen, so that's my opinion on that one. But yeah,
all I would say to fix WSL is ask Bramch if he wants to try mid. Give him a small champ pool of like 3 mid laners that are good at roaming, and then see how that goes. That's what I would do.
The thing is, I think Bramch is gonna have a problem with mid because he's really aggro and he's used to the high base damage of support, so he might not like mid as much.
Those are mids that can fill that though.
Or how about this? You say Bramch can play AD carry, right?
Yeah, I mean we've considered a lot.
When he played AD carry,
you can play mid, right, Trigger?
What's that? Sorry.
And you can play mid.
Well, I can manage every single role in the game. Now, whether I can play it is a different story.
So why wouldn't you go mid?
It won't work.
You put Bramch AD carry and then find a support that's decent.
It wouldn't work because if you put Bramch ADC, then Yuki support. Yuki's not going to be able to match the tempo of Bramch, and support should be controlling that tempo most of the time.
That is a lot of the issue. So we'll see how WSL goes. I think having anyone change in the team is going to be a bonus. As I said we have these chats at the end of every scrim about just how it's going, and when you're getting a voice call with Luxor and Fatal, it goes on for a couple of hours. But they do say a lot of useful things, but they repeat it a lot, and they know that. I've told them. We've spoke about it, and it's as I said, it's like if us 5 was all playing solo queue, matched on the same team together, we wouldn't win. And with comms, we become a better team, but it's just naturally we just don't win as 5 players put together, which is unfortunate because no one's bad on that team. I mean, those 3 players were the main players in them winning the split. You know, Jack and Minky were good; they were good supportive players, but I don't think they were the main carries. I don't think I'm a bad player, and I don't think Yuki's a bad player. Maybe the best mechanical, but we'll see how we go with that team.
Yeah, there's obviously something and that missing then obviously. Like if you can all play together but you're just not winning games, something's obviously missing.
Also, everyone forgets it's been 1 week. Like losing 3 games. What if they don't lose any other games now? Because they had.
Yeah, true.
Let's say the first
Exactly.
3 was like really bad stylistic matchups, and now
Yeah,
I think they have a lot more insight just from those 2 games though, scrims as well. Like obviously it doesn't tell everything, but
I think we've got a direction we're going now, a direction that we've tried but didn't really stick to trying, and I think that direction could potentially work if everyone is able to execute on it. We'll see how we go. I mean, as I say, I'm not gonna leave this team, so that means I've got to keep hope for it. But I've got faith that we're gonna be okay. I don't think we're gonna be a top tier team. I mean, I think when you look at our highest carry potential player, doesn't match with the highest carry potential players of other teams, and already other team synergies are higher. But I think we could make a challenge for playoffs, and we'll see how that goes. But moving it on to Pro, to Elo Thieves, and to Ike, do you think you're all going to get playoffs?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I've got faith.
Without a shadow of a doubt. It's been a
But
Oh, go on.
I think people put too much faith on improving when you're that far behind, because fundamentally, if you can't, you're not an LCS team, you don't have the coaching stuff, you don't have the drive to improve that much, especially if you don't have the ambition or skill to.
Yeah.
And at some point, you just have to change the core of it. Like, there's no other way to do it, because if you remember last split, 7DS was a bottom tier team until they changed their bot lane, their top lane, the top lane the same, the jungle, and at the end of the day, the only people that were still there were the top and mid.
Yeah.
Really. Like, they even have to keep the captain, like the core of the team, where it's supposed to go.
You're just talking about Harshy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I mean,
Chaos,
that was a
Chaos
long
Llama
time
was a
coming.
jungler, wasn't it? Chaos Llama was a
Yeah.
fucking massive meme jungler at the time. Who was the AD carry back then?
It was Frank, Clutch ADC, I think.
Yeah, Clutch AD is
And
like.
he was good. It was just like
They had a few ADs on some.
sometimes 5 good players does not make a good team. Like they even had Arbus at one point.
I mean, look at Misfits. You know, this season in LEC. I mean, fucking when you've got.
Look at Elo Thieves.
I think Elo Thieves are going to do well. I don't think anyone thinks otherwise. They've got a win condition just in the team. They don't have to draft a win condition or play a win condition style. And I just think having that in the team just means they're going to beat the majority. And I don't think anyone can dispute that, really.
Yeah, but I have to shit talk them this week because we're playing them. So.
How do you think that's going to go? How do you think that's going to go? Elo Thieves versus PMA. I mean, we've got 3 people here from that matchup. Charmander, we'll let you go
I
first.
think PMA win.
Charmander?
It's definitely going to be sort of the big match.
Are we talking? Hang on. Firstly, are we talking if they had all 5 players, or are we talking the players they actually do have?
Yeah.
We'll talk about the players who do have, but we'll mention all 5 as well.
So
I
who is
mean,
playing?
I
assume they're missing Sean, right?
Yeah.
Sean and Joey,
innit?
No.
Dewey didn't get banned from the game, did he?
No, we're missing Dewey for the
first game.
Oh no, they
first
both
game.
did. They both did, yeah.
Yeah, they lose Dewey from Pro and then Sean from PMA. Who are you guys using to replace him?
Let me find it for you.
Because it also depends on who the player is, but I still think PMA would win.
Yeah, I
even
think
if they
that
have-
has to go that way.
Just because PMA could use a super special 5-man bot TP.
So
Obviously.
game 2 against.
They fucking do it every single game. And
We
it's
haven't got.
the whole thing ever. No, every scrim I've filled against you guys, you do the exact same thing.
We haven't got Chewy either, so the bot lane is just going to be Nav and Mix.
Wow.
Oh shit. Okay, this might be a bit of a free win.
Last might even get to play on an AD carry that week.
Things I don't want to talk about like who will win based on the ban. I'd rather talk about who would win if it was the 5v5.
I think it's fairly obvious that. I mean, listen, I like Nav as a player. Nav's a great guy. And if I was ever going to make a silver gold team, he'd be the first player that I ever picked to be on it because of his versatility. But he's not last.
Yeah, he could be shit on 10 different picks.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think the only way ELVs win is for abusing people's lack of mechanical like obviously they do have decent macro like after the fact, but really it's just Dewey abusing people. PMA is probably one of the most solid macro teams.
I mean,
Or if
Mershed
he's
versus
not.
Spunners is a huge win condition for me. I mean, we've seen Mershed
Yeah.
literally 1v9 a game before. Or was it Garen? I can't remember what it was, but he
I think
literally 1v9 to that game.
I think it's a lot harder to carry through top in this meta. Like, it's more vital for your bot win. Like, if an AD carries 10-0 versus a top laner being 20-0, I think the AD carry still will win
I
that.
mean, it depends
Stage
what.
of-
It depends on the champ, though. To be fair, because
I suppose.
say you've got a 20-0 a Kennen and that, for instance, and it's just gonna dive on your team. Everyone's dead. Like
I
that game's
suppose.
over. You know what I mean? It depends what player is in the top lane and what champ.
I think 20-0, you might as well just kick the enemy top laner though.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
true. That is
Throw
true.
back to British players going 0-15 against Quay.
Ouch.
I don't want to sound too cocky, but I can't see their mid getting any kind of advantage either. So like
What, Dave?
if we trust
See,
Nav
the
and
thing
Nick
is, with
to
your champ
just
pool versus Dave's, he'll probably get a CS lead and just roam.
you
This
say
is-
that, but
The thing is I mean, I'm on Charmander's side there just from playing against him. And now,
Wait.
granted, I'm not the best mid laner to fucking compare it.
Wait,
But
wait. Hang
this,
on.
this
can I
guy's.
just-
Hey, let me fucking
Oh,
talk, and then
go
you
on,
can
go on,
talk
go on,
afterwards.
Go on, go on.
Whose podcast is this? Right.
Go.
Based off playing against Charmander, I mean, I think in the 1v1 I was doing completely fine, and I think I would have beat him in a matchup. Now, granted, he was playing Twisted Fate, so it's not the strongest 1v1 champion, but when playing against him, I thought, I've got a good chance here. But the thing is, Dewey's always going to be there. And if you're going to talk about Dave having the advantage of roaming, then for me, Charmander's going to be the best roaming mid laner in the league just because of Dewey. Now, maybe he's being proactive in these calls, but Dewey's going to play this game, especially the first 10 minutes. Dewey's going to make sure that mid lane's got an advantage. He's going to make sure the warding's done. He's going to make these roams happen and these dives happen. And I don't think you can stop that. I don't give a shit who your mid laner is.
The matter of the fact is that the reality isn't nothing like that, because I played a lot of scrims against them, and almost every scrim, we catch Dewey out, even if their mid has pro, just because of the way Dewey plays. Like, he invades without pro, a lot of the time. Maybe he stopped it recently, I haven't played against him recently, but that's just the way it is. That's why Dewey, like, I think is highly overrated, just because he doesn't look at the map a lot of the time. Like, he goes for plays that he shouldn't go for.
I think
Go on, Charmander.
from what I've seen, like, yeah, you might say my champion pool is just roaming mid laners, but that's because that's what I've not needed to play, but it's what suits. So I'm more than happy to bring out mid laners that'll just smash the enemy mid laner.
See, we had a game against you on Zed, but
Oh yeah,
No,
that
that-
wasn't. Yeah, that
even you having 2v2 pressure, we just make it a 3v2 because Dewey just goes without pro. Like, that's the.
I'm not necessarily talking about Zed, but Dewey has been a lot more restrained recently. I think recently as a team we've like relied on each other to tell information of, say, if mid's got prio or if top's got prio, and then Dewey can make the thing. I know you said you're not played against us in a bit, and I think in the last maybe month or so we've really improved that, like innate synergy, as it were.
Yeah, that's the first statement, to be honest.
So go on, Loony.
Um,
If you shut up for a while, I'll let you talk.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
This is not like Loony, is it? Being fucking quiet.
I'm just not. I'm trying to let people talk, you know?
Yeah,
He's not here.
that's fair.
Dewey did look good though on in the game against Pro. He went 16-2. I'm pretty sure. He was like the only guy
On
with kills
Elite.
on your team.
Yeah, but that's what fucked the game.
I think it
For
did
them.
as well, kind of.
Because if you had a Kassadin or Mersh,
If they had the
with
kills, yeah.
half of the kills that Dewey had, that game would have been rolled.
I
we
think
would've been
Fander's
fucked.
right there.
You know what I mean? Say Kassadin had nine kills, it would have just rolled us.
Or
We-
even
we
Sean
wouldn't
had
have been
some
able-
kills.
We wouldn't have have been able to do anything because that Kassadin would have dived our backline. Fucking
Got
guy,
more power than the Elise.
I think
they buy by Jinx, you know what I mean? And then that's it. Our win condition was gone.
in that game, in the sort of mid game, there was a fight mid lane, and in a way, me and Mersh hard into chasing Val because we didn't see the Akali on minimap because she was in Shroud,
Yeah. I think
and
I know what fight you're on
that's
about.
when the Vi got the pentakill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Akali did very well in that backline though.
Yeah,
And,
and
3-man stun or something.
and I think the whole game mood changer there, sorry Charmander, is when Dewey flashed over the wall and
This is E on the
missed,
Jinx.
yeah, they
um,
missed the Z on the Jinx, and that let us come back because we got kills and the Baron, I think, off that as well.
yeah.
And if he caught the Jinx, it would have been over. You would have got the Baron, etc., etc. But
See,
him doing that sort of changed the whole stride of the game.
the thing is, with that one, I recall thinking to myself that even if he did hit the cocoon, I'm pretty sure Jinx had GA. Was it GA or?
No, I don't
No,
believe she had a GA.
No, okay, you might have
No,
not, but
no, she
there
didn't have
was like
GA.
a support right behind him, and I'm pretty sure the support would have been able to save him. And if, in theory, Jude didn't one-shot the Jinx, then they would have just lost the game anyway. Because the
Yeah.
only person that could have followed that up was the Kaiser, because everyone else was already over the wall.
Yeah, everyone else was on the other side,
So
and then
it was just a bad
we
play.
caught them out coming in from there, obviously, because Dewey was basically dead, and then they were trapped away pretty much.
And that's kind of my point where Drew just has a way faster tempo than his team. Like it might have stopped recently or been fixed a little bit.
It didn't help though, Endeavour, that they lost out on the 2v2 in the bot lane a number of times. Because I don't even think Dewey came down there during the early game at all.
I don't think he ever goes to bot lane.
Yeah. And because they'd lost the 2v2, the Jinx just got super third.
Yeah, that was sort of the game plan though, because as long as we kept the fights at topside, like once Jinx got kills, we knew that Jinx could, Jinx a late game Jinx. No one wants to go against a late game Jinx. You know what I mean? The amount of damage that can do. And where obviously Dewey was topside against me and Olu a lot, we was taking a lot of a pressure off of the bot side, which meant they could literally 2 versus 2 bot. You know what I mean? And I think Jinx got the first of blood as well on the Shentel. So she already had an item. Obviously, it's not much, but during laning phase, that's a big help on a hyper carry like Jinx.
Yeah. But your support has to perma play Shenbrom because your ADC's positioning is terrible.
Rock has said that, and I believe Rock is actually doing one-on-one coaching with Miles.
Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve.
You know, if that doesn't improve, we just ban Shenbrom, even if it's ours. It's a bit harder to peel in. And we just jump on your ADC free game.
Yeah, true. Well, you say that. But...
Yeah, there's a lot more variables. Like we have to not into your jungle. But to be honest, I think your jungle's not as good looking. If you can take a Viola off.
Trigger, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
I mean, our jungler though can play a lot more than just Olaf.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
Just so you know.
I know. I'm very like
Thank you.
Olaf, Firehecker. Like I already know all the details. It's more like well, not all of them, but yeah.
Don't forget, he sees the scrim results of every single scrim that happens.
Basically.
It's beautiful.
But so do you, Lynn. Shut up.
I mean, you're in fucking half
of them, yeah. But you still get them, Loony. Ryan sends you all of them. Fuck off.
It's not even. It's different people send me them as well. It's not just.
Yeah, I know. But Ryan's a big snake.
Remove the scrim leaks from VL. This happened at Worlds with all the
It's
Chinese.
not even VL. It's just fucking disseminated.
No, it's the fucking Chinese. I tell you. At Worlds, it was the Chinese that G2 when they leaked him, and VL's the same. Stop giving everything to Loony. No wonder PMA you're gonna win. No wonder. Fucking
Yeah, you
I
should
haven't
just-
had as much as you think, but yeah.
You should just get me on your sub bench so I can leak you more stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
the
but-
reason I don't want you on the bench is because you're leaking my stuff.
True.
Loony
The thing
plays
is-
Silas. Oh, not Loony. Laudio. Why do I always get
Laudio.
your names confused? Laudio
I
plays
like the
Silas.
Silas.
Leaked.
Wow, Silas J4, Monka, S.
The Silas was good.
Yeah.
Silas
he
was
got-
good. It tore me to shreds.
Hmm.
Right, boys, I'm going to have to upload this at some point, and it's been going on for 1 hour and 23 minutes. So we're going to call that the end of the podcast, but obviously this is a set of voice chats. You can continue to stay around if you want. It's been a different format. If you've enjoyed it, then let me know, and we'll do more of these. Mainly just did this because I was drunk and United drew, and I wanted some comfort. So, I'm not even fucking lying. So, yeah, let us know in the PMs. Obviously, you fellas in the voice call at the moment, and everyone else who decides to watch this on either Twitch or YouTube. So this can be the best content for you that I can make.
Remember
Is-
to dislike.
Dislike. The thing is, if you dislike it, then I'll assume that you didn't like this form of content, and I won't do the podcast in this style again. So it's up to you, fellas. How you want it to be. But the more information you can give me, the better. And we'll try and make this the best content as possible for you guys to enjoy it and take part in it, and for it to be fucking sound. It's been the Let It Rip podcast, boys. Over and out. Peace.